Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR My Driver Career Mode here on iRacing on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we started off with some news. NASCAR announces this week that Xfinity driver myself, Gary Owen, will be placed on probation for the rest of the season after I flipped Harrison Burton over on the cooldown lap in Bristol. The rookie has shown his temper a bit this season, which comes as a shock to some considering his clean record overseas in Formula 3. So, a little bit unfortunate way to start this episode. We are on probation for the rest of the season, which after today's episode, there's just 2 episodes remaining in the prologue here before we shift into the full part of the series in the Cup Series now, as we had a subscriber and member race here to get underway now at Langley Speedway here to start things off today for 15 laps, as we had member Joe Brett up there in front of Kenneth Barnett. You had Haynes, you had Jason Smith, the points leader in P4. McKay Seals, he had actually gotten a penalty on the opening lap after he went down into like the pit entry, so he would have to serve a penalty unfortunately here. As I hope you guys are liking these new graphics. I've made some rear view mirror changes in this episode for you guys so you can see what's going on behind us and as well have the graphics on the screen at the same time. So stay tuned for that here in just a few minutes time. Now as we come through a little bit later, 6 laps to go. Brett continuing to lead the way in that number 9 Red Bull paint scheme here now, as he was putting on a clinic so far here today at Langley, and he really just would never be under pressure now, as we're going to jump right through to the end of this race. Final lap underway for Joe Brett, and Barnett still behind Jason Smith up into now the 3rd position. McShane and Jones, Elizabeth all up there into P6 now as they come through turn 3 and 4 for the final time. It is going to be Joe Brett coming through to pick up the victory here in Langley as the rest of the field comes through to cross the line. So here would be the points after real quick. So Jason Smith has an 8-point lead over Barnett, and as you guys know, whoever wins the championship moves up into the Truck Series next season. Bradley Cole won the first ever season in the Legends or the late model series. He's already up in the Truck Series, having a strong season. We'll have a Truck Series and Cup Series update here today as well. But we come through into Atlanta Motor Speedway, where unfortunately I completely screwed up the qualifying lap again here. So things weren't looking so hot, and we were in a position after Bristol. I was pretty heated because we had a rough finish, and we can't afford any rough finishes throughout the rest of the season. Top 5s is what you have to be aiming for as we get this race underway behind a 4-wide mess down into turn 1. Sheldon Creed, Sage Karam, Ryan Vargas, Jeremy Clements are on the very top line now, as this is exactly why you don't want to qualify back here, because it is an absolute mess here now, as I couldn't really go anywhere. I'm 3 wide in the middle as we went down this back straightaway. I even made some contact actually with the 47 of Kyle Weatherman on the inside as we came through turns 3 and 4. So I was trying to play it, of course, cautious because I don't want to get caught up in a mess, but I'm trying to as well move my way forwards the best I can to put ourselves in a better position into stage 2, which will ultimately lead us into a better position going into that 3rd and final stage. So here I am behind Sheldon Creed, and we are hoping that Sheldon Creed has a rough day. Harrison Burton has a rough day throughout this next episode or 2, because we need to capitalize on those to be able to gain a bunch of points to get into this championship battle. We are getting closer and closer into the championship battle, but unfortunately we're running out of time very, very quick now. Over 40 points out still of the championship lead, and the likelihood of us being able to rally to a championship at this point looking very low. But we were on the move here early on in this race. Now stage 1 would be coming to a close at the conclusion of lap 10. We got to the back of our teammate Jay Cook. We have a bit of a history with him, and we just wanted to say hello. Got to the back bumper of him, and he actually got up to the outside wall a little bit. We passed him down the back straightaway. 3 collie cars under a blanket right here between myself, Cook, and Landon Castle, but we had a bit of a moment with Jay, some contact. I certainly wasn't being the most friendly to him here now as we come through to the end of stage 1. So we rallied into the top 10 as Michael Cozy Jr. actually would win the first and opening stage, as a caution would fly here. You can see the new graphics change. I've changed some of the number coloring and stuff in the boxes, as well as I've put the rear view mirror down to where the actual position is in the car. So unfortunately I missed my pit stall on the pit lane under the caution, so I had to go all the way back around, come back into the pits, and that unfortunately meant all my progress was wiped. We were starting at the very back here for the start of stage 2. Very, very stupid mistake from myself, and it was simply because I wasn't used to screwing up qualifying so bad, so I completely forgot that I had pretty much a midfield pit stall, so I wasn't even paying attention, and then by the time I realized it was too late, and unfortunately we had to roll all the way back around, and now we find ourselves all the way back here in 29th place at the start of this 15th lap here. So we got a lot of work to do to get our way back forwards, and that meant we got to push relatively hard to move our way back forwards. So I was thinking the plan now had kind of changed, and I was looking at coming into the pit lane. No matter what the circumstances are here at the end of stage 2, come into the pits, put 4 tires on the car, fill it up with fuel, and go hard to the end of this race. And that could be a strategy that might actually really benefit us and potentially help us go for the race victory, although giving up track position, very dangerous, especially at these mile-and-a-half races. But these Xfinity races have been a lot cleaner than the Truck Series races at the majority of tracks, as the caution would come out already after a very calm stage 2. And you can see everybody in front of us pretty much stays out. So I come in, and a bunch of drivers behind me come in as well. So we would still line up in a good position. We didn't actually give up anything. So now we have a 4 fresh tire advantage. And when I say that, we only have about a 7, 8, 9 lap advantage, but that can make a big difference at a track that's very abrasive on tire wear, Atlanta Motor Speedway. So I was actually expecting to go for the victory at this point here. Now I felt like we've had a car all race long that can compete in the top 5, maybe the victory. Obviously we've just kind of shot ourselves in the foot a few times, and that has put us back quite a bit now as we would go down this back straightaway into turn 3. Austin Cindric, Jay Cook there just in front of us. Cook, he's been leading the championship for the majority of the season, but here in these closing races on the season, he has been falling down the order in the points. Now, it really sparked after that accident him and I had, or not accident, but the run-in we had at Watkins Glen. And the contact we had with Gregson at Talladega unfortunately took Jay Cook out in a late race accident there, so a lot of things have been going against him here recently, and he's not having a good run here so far. Now as we come to 21 laps ago, and you can see this 4 fresh tire advantage, it was making a difference. We were on the move. We were closing up here towards the top 5 before we knew it. We were up the inside of Harrison Burton, one of the drivers going for the championship. So it's absolutely crucial we beat a guy like Harrison Burton today, a guy like Sheldon Creed as well, and by many points as possible. I mean, really, I just was looking at this as we have to win this race here, and we were continuing to be on the move. We passed Noah Gragson. We get into the top 5 up the inside of Sam Mayer, who's been ever so consistent this season. One of the rookie drivers here full-time, at least in the Xfinity Series, along with myself. He's definitely going to be a Cup Series veteran or regular at some point, and a veteran in this My Driver Series way down the line here now. As we come through to 14 to go, up to 4th place, Cozy, Ty Gibbs up there at P1, P2, and we are reeling them in fast. I knew we were on pace to win this race here if we just kept the car cool, don't run into anything here, make clean passes up the inside now of Justin Allgaier as we look to pass him through turn 3 as well as turn 4. And sure enough, on the exit of turn 4, we will pass that 7 Brandt Chevrolet Camaro for JRM, and then, well, 12 laps to go, just a few moments later, we get to the back of that now number 54 of Ty Gibbs for Joe Gibbs Racing. We're going to dive one up the inside here into turn 3, and this is going to be an easy pass here on Ty Gibbs, who's still winless so far this season, which is crazy to think with how consistent he has been as well, like Sam Mayer. But we exit turn 4, we're already on the back of Michael Cozy Jr. We're going to go up the inside of him, down this front straightaway, and sure enough, we are going to have this opportunity right here to take the lead as we dive down into turn 1. We would pull away by 2 seconds here in just a handful of laps. Now 7 laps to go. Wasn't expecting a caution, just bringing the car home really at this point. So we would be able to hang on relatively comfortably, but after we got the gap to about 2.2, 2.3 seconds, it actually started to go down a little bit, and I never really pulled away again. Now as we come through to 2 laps to go, approaching just the final lap here in Atlanta Motor Speedway, still pretty much the exact same gap to Michael Cozy Jr. So thank God we made that pass when we did, because it would have been a tough fight here to beat him if we hadn't. Now as we come through the center of 1 and 2 on this final lap, we've done everything right in this 3rd and final stage. We made mistakes in stage 1 at the conclusion of it on the pit lane by missing our pit stall, and things just managed to work out here in these closing moments, and we come through 3 and 4 for the final time, leading the way. We have 3 wins on the season in our rookie Xfinity season, but we're about to now go get win number 4, which will be the most of anybody this season here as we come through to win at Atlanta Motor Speedway here to get that 4th win. Cozy 2nd, Gibbs 3rd, Allgaier 4th, Sam Mayer and Noah Gragson. You got Burton, you got as well as our teammate of Allmendinger up inside the top 10, and a very rough day for that guy right there, the number 11 Taco Bell Chevrolet Camaro of Jay Cook. Now as we get to burn it down here for the 4th time on the season, but obviously the work is not done here yet. Yes, we're going to gain points, and let's get a look at the points update here. We are now 38 points out of the championship, so a lot of work to do. Harrison Burton, Creed, they're tied for the championship lead going into the next race at Auto Club, and after Auto Club, only 3 races remain, and 2 of them will be in the next episode. So we're only 2 episodes away from this prologue being complete here. Now, as a quick update on the Truck Series, Parker Kligerman won here in Martinsville. Ben Rhodes, second place. Matt O'Brien rounded out the top 10. Jonathan Ramos up there in the top 5. Joey Stone in P4. And Joey Stone has the championship lead here with just a few races left in the shortened Truck Series season, of course, due to the incidents that caused the season to be significantly shorter. So we as well have a Cup Series update coming at the end of this episode, but we jump through into now the next Xfinity race here at Auto Club, where finally I get qualifying right. I actually qualified on pole. I was able to beat Cook by about half a tenth of a second. So we start on the front row, and it looks like Cook, just like Talladega when he started on the front row with myself, missed a shift or something. He's already outside the top 10 as we dive down into turn 1. Very, very weird scenario right there for Cook, who's now already got a lot of work headed his way here to rebound in Auto Club. Now, as stage 1 is going to be approximately 7 laps here from Auto Club Speedway, and then a similar amount in that second stage. There you see Michael Cozy Jr. behind, but perfect position so far for us leading the way. We need to try and win as many races as we possibly can to get back into this championship battle. We just have to go on a tear here, as I would lead the way through 3 and 4. And I knew that I didn't have the best car in the field, so I was not really concerned with fighting too hard at the beginning of this race, more or less just kind of surviving stage 1, surviving stage 2. Now, as they get pretty crazy here at Auto Club, they go 3, 4 wide sometimes. They're all over the track. There's so many different lanes you can run, and I would get blown away here on the 3rd lap by Sam Mayer, who goes to the lead. Here comes my colleague, teammate of Landon Castle, and that number 4 car into the mix as well. He would get past me, and then as we went down into turn 1, Sheldon Creed comes through up the inside as well. We would be side by side with him briefly, but we would actually eventually get back past Sheldon Creed and then get passed by my other teammate of AJ Omendinger. So eventually we would be here in the 4th position in these closing moments of this first and opening stage. And after we got down to this 4th spot, everything just really calmed down, settled down, and I actually lost ground to the top 3 as we came through straight to the end of stage 1. As I said, it was all about survival. Actually getting to the outside wall there on the exit of turn 4, a mistake from myself, but the caution comes out, and we are P4 at the end of this first stage. No pit stops coming here at the end of stage 1, so we're gonna have to wait to the end of stage 2 potentially to fix that damage if we pit. We don't know if we're gonna be pitting yet. It really depends what everybody else is doing, but Sam Mayer would lead the way back to the green flag here in Auto Club Fontana, California. Now, Sam Mayer has been very, very strong. He's shown speed. He's shown consistency in this season, but he hasn't shown race victories. But with this full season, no playoff racing, with this championship format that, of course, the shortened season presented us, consistency is key. You don't gotta win races to win the championship. I think you've proven that. We've won 4 races this season, and we are 38 points below the championship lead. Sheldon Creed, who leads the points, well, he's won 3 races, so he's only won 1 less race than myself. So it does prove, wins do matter, but of course, consistency is more important than winning a bunch of races now as we come through to complete this opening lap now. So Creed tied with Harrison Burton for the championship lead at the start of this final race here for the Xfinity Series in the episode. So we'll see what he can do today. But I also know, well, the situation is we have to beat Sheldon Creed. We have to beat Harrison Burton here today to make sure we get points gained on them. So right now we're not beating Sheldon Creed. We are beating Harrison as we come through to 23 laps ago. We were already closing in towards the end of this second stage. It was very calm once again. I was just doing my thing here through turn 1. Behind us there were 3 wide between Cindric Gibbs and Josh Berry in the 1 car. Another very consistent driver Josh Berry has been. He's up my inside here on the exit of turn 2. And what I was noticing here as we were coming through towards the end of stage 2, my tires were wearing quite a bit more. I think I was pushing a little bit too hard, which was surprising because I felt like I was saving. So I was definitely starting to lose time here in these closing moments of this second stage. So I realized if we want to, salvage a good finish here tonight, we cannot stay out at the conclusion of the second stage. And as we came through to the final lap, I even get passed by Ty Gibbs on the outside there. I just could not get the throttle down comfortably. So I knew we have to come to the pit lane here at the conclusion of stage 2. The caution does come out. We crossed the line there, and it was not a good finish. P8 there in stage 2. So everybody in front of us stays out. We pit. So this is another situation like Atlanta, so we'll see what happens. I actually got a speeding penalty as well there. I sped into the pit lane like an idiot, but we would get back going here at the back of the grid for the start here now with just 16 laps to go in Auto Club now. Riley Herbst in front of us here. We got some repairs made to the right side of the car as well, because you guys remember at the end of stage 1, I did actually get into the outside wall. A very silly mistake there, but we repaired the car to the best of our abilities, and we were back underway 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Now on the exit of the corner, I think we might have even been briefly 4 wide as we came through out of the corner, but we continue on in the positive direction here now down this back straightaway as we continue to try and push, because we're coming to 15 laps to go. That's not a lot of time, but it is a little bit more time than usual. You know, you go to a mile and a half, 16 laps, not a lot of time, but Auto Club, you know, over 40-second lap time, so it's definitely a little bit more time to work with for us here when we see that number in. We were moving our way forwards. We were up into the top 15 really easily, and we got up into P14. We got up to P13. We passed Harrison Burton, who was actually behind us. He had pitted as well, and we got past Brandon Brown, but I realized that we definitely don't have the situation that we had in Atlanta earlier in this episode. We're probably not going to be a threat to win this race, but we passed our teammate of Jay Cook having another outside of the top 10 day here in Auto Club. We pass Allgaier. We move into the top 10, and then we run down 9th place of Noah Gregson. We're going to pass him as well. Just 9 laps to go at this point. There you see Cozy and Gibbs battling again, just like they were for 1st and 2nd in Atlanta when we came through and passed them both at the end of that race. And now we're going to try and pass them both again at the end of this race here in Auto Club. We get past that number 99 of Michael Cozy Jr., dive down into turn 1, easy pass here as well on the 54 of Ty Gibbs. Now unfortunately Sheldon Creed is up in 2nd place. That is not what you want to see. Landon Castle, our colleague teammate, leading the way, looking for his first win on the season. We passed Josh Berry relatively easily on the outside, and as soon as I completed that pass, I run down the 22, I run down the 8, but once that happened, I noticed that right front tire was definitely feeling some wear, and everything started to get a little bit harder in these closing moments. So now, you know, we might be having about a top 5 run if we pass Sam Mayer, but a top 5 run is still going to lose us points with how Sheldon Creed is running at the moment. So that was very frustrating, seeing that number 2 car in that number 2 position here as we come through, approaching just the final 2 laps of this race. And right here, I got past Sam Mayer, of course, but I couldn't quite get to that 22 of Austin Cindric. That right front tire, I had just worn it a bit too much here. So now it was just about bringing it home and hoping maybe the 22 slips up or something as we come through to start this final lap here from Auto Club. Landon Castle leads the way down into turn 1. Sheldon Creed, AJ Allmendinger, your top 3. 4th, Cindric. 5th, myself. We're going to send one up the inside. Is it going to be enough? No, it is not here now, as I just can't get that car to rotate through the center, and I really had to be careful there on the exit of the corner with my throttle input here as we go down this back straightaway for the final time. Castle has a 3/10 lead, but that lead is coming down between him and Creed quite quickly here as they come through the center of 3 and 4 for the final time here in Auto Club. Creed is there, but here comes AJ Allmendinger as well now as they come through on the exit of turn 4. Creed is all over his back bumper. He's going to try and look to the inside. Here comes AJ Allmendinger now as they're going to be side by side to the line for 2nd. Castle wins his first race in the Xfinity Series. Creed 2nd, Allmendinger 3rd. There you saw Cindric as well, 4th, myself in 5th. So there's quickly the race results on your screen, but more importantly, what is the point situation looking like there after a 5th place finish? Great 5th place finish, but that wasn't enough. We actually lose 3 points. We're 41 points below the championship leader of Sheldon Creed, who now has over a 10-point lead. I think the largest lead we've seen all season long. 3 races left on the season, and we need to gain 41 points. Quick Cup Series update. Daniel Suarez got the win, and Kansas his first win in the Cup Series over a Rick Ware car of James Davison. Rick Ware has actually been really improving this season, so there's a really quick recap of the Cup Series finishing results here. David Schildhouse as well, a respectable finish here up inside the top 30, but one of the rougher races he's had now for that Rick Ware Racing team. But in the next episode, just 2 episodes remain in this chapter, or opening few chapters of the prologue now, the final chapter of the prologue. It's Nashville Fairgrounds, a short track, and then the Charlotte Roval, 2 curveball tracks that could potentially bring us back into the championship battle. We'll see what happens. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do, and I'll see you guys in the next one for those 2 crazy racetracks on the way. Have a great day, everybody.